The wait is finally over, and Fallout Season 2 has released a nuclear payload of lore that alters our understanding of the franchise. From the frozen trenches of Alaska to the silent streets of New Vegas, the showrunners have effectively rewritten the history books instead of simply adapting the games. We are seeing origins for monsters that were previously theories and character reveals that completely invert the first season. The destruction of Shady Sands was controversial, but this season goes further. We are analyzing the 10 most major details, hidden references, and massive lore revelations in the new season. Starting at number 10 is the brutal payoff to a specific line from Season 1. Cooper Howard previously told Maximus that his T-60 armor had a welding flaw below the chest plate. Season 2, Episode 4 returns to the Alaskan front to show exactly how Cooper learned that lesson the hard way. A visceral flashback sequence depicts a younger Howard piloting a T-45 suit against Chinese forces before the hydraulics seize up in the freezing temperatures. This scene goes beyond fan service by confirming that the welding flaw was a fundamental design oversight by Westtech rather than a manufacturing error. The revelation adds a darker layer to Cooper's cynicism because he knows the equipment was garbage after nearly dying in it. At number 9, the show finally addresses the situation regarding Julia Masters. We saw her briefly in the Season 1 finale representing Retcon, and Season 2 confirms she was more than a cameo. The new episodes feature a quick shot of the Retcon headquarters in the Mojave, complete with the crashed rocket sign from New Vegas. The real Easter egg appears in the boardroom flashbacks, where Masters pushes for the Q-35 project. This reference to the unique plasma rifle from the games confirms that Retcon was actively diverting military funding into experimental energy weapons long before the bombs fell. Masters is positioned as a key architect of the Wasteland's energy weapon proliferation, rather than just a corporate stooge. Number 8 brings hope to NCR fans who felt burned by the destruction of Shady Sands. Lucy and the Ghoul traverse the Mojave while radio chatter and visual clues point toward the hub. The hub was a massive trading center in the original Fallout, and its mention here suggests the new California Republic has relocated rather than being wiped out. The show implies that the NCR's economic heart is still beating further south, even though Shady Sands fell. This creates a fascinating situation where the faction is fractured but rebuilding, which aligns perfectly with the Fall of Rome themes discussed by the showrunners. Background graffitis in the trade outposts suggest the two-headed bear is down, but definitely not out. Coming in at number 7 is the tragic irony of Frederick Sinclair. Season 1 showed him as a heavy-set man at the Vault-Tec meeting, representing Big MT. Season 2 emphasizes his gullible nature established in the Dead Money DLC, as we see him nodding along to Robert House's proposals. The writers included subtle nods to the Red Cloud technology, with Sinclair mentioning a ventilation project for his casino. Game veterans will recognize this as chilling foreshadowing, since the tech he thinks will make the Sierra Madre a paradise eventually turns it into a ghost town. This masterful touch recontextualizes him from a villain into the tragic pawn we know from the lore. Number 6 addresses the biggest visual shock of the season regarding the abandoned state of New Vegas. The Strip is dark, with silent streets and walls covered in claw marks. Many assume this is post-war decay, but the specific scratch patterns resemble those of tunnelers from the Lonesome Road DLC. The show seems to be drawing from the Dust mod concept or the Darkest timeline, where the tunnelers eventually swarm the Mojave. This explains why the NCR and Legion are not fighting in the streets, since there is nothing left to fight for. The city has been reclaimed by nature's deadliest predators, rather than just falling to war. This bold choice clears the board for our characters to have a localized conflict amidst the ruins. At number 5 is the twisted truth behind the Enclave's involvement. Season 2 reveals that Dr. Wilzig and his miracle dog CX-404 were not just random experiments. We find a derelict Enclave outpost in the desert containing failed canine enhancement subjects. The terminals confirm that the Enclave has been trying to create the perfect biological scout units to reclaim America. This ties directly back to Wilzig's defecting, since he was fleeing a program that viewed living things as disposable hardware, rather than just stealing cold fusion. The presence of Enclave iBots monitoring Lucy from a distance confirms that their eyes are still watching every move in the Wasteland, even if their main rig was destroyed in the games. Number 4 is where the showrunners pulled a brilliant sleight of hand. Season 1 featured Robert House, played by Raffi Silver, and fans accepted this as the definitive casting. Season 2 reveals that the man giving speeches on television and shaking hands with investors was a public-facing double. This aligns perfectly with House's paranoia and reclusive nature in the games because he never wanted to be vulnerable. Using a body double for public appearances explains how House could survive assassination attempts and corporate espionage pre-war. This completely changes the context of the Season 1 finale, since the man in the meeting might have been a mouthpiece, while the real mind was already sealing himself away in the Lucky 38. This brings us to number 3, with the introduction of Justin Theroux as the real Robert House. We first see him in a flashback sitting in a dive bar and watching his own double give a press conference on TV. He is cynical and detached while tinkering with a prototype override chip. This casting change serves as a plot point rather than a retcon. Theroux's House is the genius recluse who calculated the probability of nuclear war to a decimal point. His dialogue suggests he views the other CEOs as variables in a simulation he intends to win. This version of House is far more dangerous because he operates from the shadows and treats the entire Wasteland as a chess game he has been playing for 200 years. Runner-up at number 2 is the major monster reveal. Fans have debated for decades whether Deathclaws were mutants born from radiation or pre-war experiments, and Season 2, Episode 4 settles it definitively. A U.S. military-deployed Deathclaw saves Cooper Howard during the Alaska flashback instead of reinforcements. The creature rips through Chinese power armor effortlessly. This confirms that Deathclaws were genetically engineered bioweapons used during the resource wars rather than accidental mutations. Seeing a Deathclaw with a military control collar in the snow creates a terrifying image that highlights the main theme of the show. The government was the monster long before the bombs fell. And this lore expansion validates the darkest theories about pre-war military ethics. Taking the top spot at number 1 is the overarching mystery that Season 2 has finally brought into focus. Hank McClane fled to New Vegas to report rather than to hide. The season strongly implies that the management is an active force operating out of the Lucky 38, instead of just a group of frozen executives. Someone has been actively keeping the Wasteland destabilized, whether it is the real House or a Vault-Tec contingency algorithm. The finale of Episode 4 shows the Deathclaws in Vegas are guarding the Strip, rather than acting as wild animals. The apex predators of the new world are being leashed by the ghosts of the old one, to suggest that the true villain is the persistent will of corporate control. Fallout Season 2 has proven that the Wasteland holds more secrets than anticipated. The show honors the past while forging a terrifying new future by weaving deep lore from New Vegas with new additions like the pre-war Deathclaw deployment. We are witnessing the collision of pre-war hubris and post-war survival in a way the games could only hint at. Ensure you are subscribed to the channel to stay updated as we uncover more secrets from the Mojave. There is plenty more radiation where this came from, and I will see you in the next breakdown.